time with the defensive play. Now finds Jalen Green.
Oh, my goodness!
He did it!
Oh!
The Jazz turn it. Oh! Cam Whitmore.
Şengün goes coast to coast. Oh!
Aaron Williams. Here comes both teams. Here comes Rocket Security.
RedNationBlogga back with another video. The Houston Rockets unfortunately lose to the Memphis Grizzlies 120-119. They weren't able to sweep the season series. This was a game where Alperen Sengun didn't play. Of course, we know Jabari Smith Jr. is out. Ja Morant was out for the Memphis Grizzlies. And the Rockets were firmly in control of this game until about, I'll say, the second half. But then even later on in the third quarter, they got back control of the game. They maintained, and it looked like they were in the driver's seat. I think they got up by as much as 8 or 9 points. And even though they looked like they controlled the game, when the game got into winding moments, they didn't execute like they needed to execute. And that's why they lost 119-120. Jaren Jackson Jr., he had 21 points. He was in foul trouble the whole game, finished the game with 5 personal fouls. He had 12 points and like 5 fouls going into the fourth quarter. So he had like 9 points in the fourth quarter. If I'm wrong, check me on that. But I'm pretty sure he had 9 points in the fourth quarter. At worst, he had 7. Desmond Bane, 24 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, 11 to 24 from the field. I'm really not caring about his efficiency because Desmond Bane got a bucket anytime they needed a bucket. The Houston Rockets defense was phenomenal pretty much tonight. Like, they really did a good job defensively, in my opinion. And Luke Kennard, they lost him a little bit in the third quarter. And Luke Kennard just overall in the fourth quarter, he just came alive. Like, whether that was guys losing him in transition, him hitting wide open threes, him driving to the basket, creating his own shot. Like, Luke Kennard was really, really good. And for Houston to lose him like that when he's leading the league in 3-point percentage or whatever the case may be, it is kind of puzzling. You know, I did say they played great defense, but they did lose him quite often. Aldama off the bench gave you 15. Brandon Clark off the bench gave you 13. This was a game that Memphis, you could just tell they did not want to lose. Memphis did not want to lose this game. They did not want to get swept by the Houston Rockets. And even saying that, they still almost got swept by the Houston Rockets. So, hey, it is what it is. I want to segue to the Houston Rockets side of things a little bit. Steven Adams had 11 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. He was 4 of 9. Steven Adams was really good for the Rockets, especially in the first quarter. He really got the Rockets started offensively. He was a force down low. He was getting rebounds. I mean, the dude had 7 offensive rebounds tonight. He leads the league in offensive rebounding percentage. Steven Adams, when he played for Memphis, was one of the main reasons why they had one of the best half-court offenses in the NBA. It was because of Steven Adams' presence. When they went into that series against the Los Angeles Lakers, and I think Steven Adams had went down, and Brandon Clark had tore his Achilles, and they had like Xavier Tillman out there. Steven Adams was the reason why that series kind of shifted in the way that they did. They didn't have any size for Anthony Davis, and he was the main mitigator of their half-court offense. He was the reason why their half-court offense was like, I believe, top 10 or top 5 that season. So when you see Steven Adams playing like he played tonight, being a disruptor on defense, getting on the offensive glass, actually making shots, hitting his free throws, when you see Steven Adams doing stuff like that, it is encouraging going forward. It really, really is, especially when Sengun is not out there, because now you see, okay, when Alperen Sengun is not available, Steven Adams can slide right in and be competent. Now, on the flip side of that, the backup point guard and Jock Landale, he was not the best today. He wasn't bad, but I would like to see the Houston Rockets trade for Robert Williams. I really would. I would like to see us have a third competent center and having 2 relatively injury-prone centers to back up Alperen Sengun. I don't mind it because it'll be matchup based. But overall, I will say this before I get to the good, the bad, and the downright ugly segment. Overall, I will say that tonight's game, Jabari Smith's impact was missed. Alperen Sengun's impact was missed. But just for how Ime was kind of playing certain matchups and how he kind of wanted to play stylistically, I don't think Ime ever truly wants to go like small ball. I think his idea of small ball would be 6'11" Jabari Smith Jr. out there at the 5 with no Sengun. I think he would rather do that than have Jayshawn Tate, Tari Eason, Dylan Brooks, Jalen Green, and like Fred VanVleet or Amen Thompson out there. Like, I'm pretty sure he would rather do that with a Jabari Smith Jr. more so than doing it with 6'7" and shorter guys. So I think that's just my opinion on why I think Jabari Smith Jr. would have been really, really valuable for tonight's game. I'm not mad though, really. Like, this team is good. They lost whatever. They lost one game. You're not going to win every single regular season game. But let's get to the best part of the show, my favorite part of the show. Let's get to the good. Dylan Brooks had 22 points in a homecoming to the Memphis Grizzlies Stadium, to the FedEx Forum. 9 of 17 from the field, 3 of 7 from 3. He only had 2 turnovers. Dylan was really good tonight, man. You could tell he wanted to win. He was competing hard on the defensive side of the ball. He was contributing on the offensive side of the ball. It was some plays where I wanted him to pass, and he made shots. And I've said this before in other videos. I'm going to say it again in this video. A player like Dylan Brooks, ideally, fans see him as a 3-and-D guy. They see him as, hey, just get on the corners and chuck threes. Like, we don't need you doing anything else. We don't need you dribbling. We don't need you facilitating. We don't need you doing anything else. 3-and-D. That's what they see him as. When I play 2K, I don't have Dylan Brooks doing anything but 3-and-D, to be honest with you. But in real life, I like the shots that Dylan takes because it's confidence building. I know that's a very unpopular opinion, but he has a knack for hitting really, really good and tough shots at really, really big moments. And I don't want to take that away from Dylan strictly to make him a 3-and-D guy. Like, I don't want to do that. That's not something that I think the Rockets are best suited with him as. I just simply don't think that. So Dylan Brooks had a really good game tonight. No complaints about him, really, to be honest. Amen Thompson, 21 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. He's also in the good. 4 blocks, 1 steal, 7 of 15 from the field, 7 of 9 from the free throw line. Only had 1 turnover. The story of Amen Thompson just keeps getting written, and the chapters keep getting better and better as you turn the page. It's just that simple. Amen Thompson is a big game player. As a guy that can't shoot, he's a better mid-range shooter than Jalen Green. And he has been all season long. Jalen Green, who is like the scorer of the team, and he is the scorer of the team. He leads the team in scoring. Again, for the second night back-to-back, 25 last night, 25 tonight. For him not to have a jump shot and be touted as this guy that all he needs is a jump shot, he made like 4 mid-range jumpers tonight. Tough jumpers. In rhythm, not scared of the moment, not scared to pull a trigger on a shot. That's what you like to see from Amen Thompson, because as his confidence grows and as he starts believing in his jump shot and his ability a little bit more, it'll open things up. It'll make defenders start creeping up and up and up because they don't want to get that mid-range shot. He's going to go right by you, get to the rim. Amen Thompson, I have no complaints about him. Last part of the good, Tari Eason, 13 points, 12 rebounds, 6 of 12 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3. He did have 2 turnovers tonight. I will say, when Tari Eason, I said this is rookie season, when Tari Eason gets minutes, he's a walking double-double. It doesn't matter. You don't got to run plays for him. You don't got to call his number. If you put Tari Eason on the floor and give him minutes, he will give you a double-double, point blank, period. The only thing I want to see Tari Eason improve with is just quicker decision-making. Either you're going to pass it or you're going to go. And I want you also to be better at knowing when to pass it and when to go. And I think that he's still kind of juggling like that. He seems unsure of himself. And earlier this season, before he missed like 13 straight games or something like that, Tari Eason was knocking down the jump shot at the clip Amen is knocking it down at now. He was really knocking down the jump shot, so much so I was throwing out Kawhi Leonard comparisons because I could see it, but it just seems like the time that he's missed and the time that he's spent rehabbing and trying to get back on the floor, et cetera, his jump shot has failed him. His 3-ball hasn't really been fantastic all season, but it has been better. It was better before he got hurt and came back. His mid-range jumper was way better earlier in the season, and then he got hurt, and it hasn't been the same. I don't think I've seen him make 1 mid-range shot since he came back from the injury. Let's get to the bad. Jayshawn Tate, 1 point, 2 rebounds, 1 turnover, -6 in 10 minutes. By far his worst game of the season. By far the worst game I've ever seen from Jae'Sean Tate in his career. And that goes back to the rebuilding days with the Houston Rockets when they had Steven Silas. By far the worst game of the season from Jae'Sean Tate. Hideous game. Hideous game. Second on the bad. Listen, guys. I swear I'm not picking on Jalen Green. I'm not. He had 25 points tonight, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, but he was 8 of 21 from the field. That's 38%. He was 5 of 10 from 3. Going into the fourth quarter, Jalen Green had 0 turnovers. Guess how many turnovers he had in the fourth? 2. And guess when it happened? When he was trying to initiate offense. Earlier this season, there was a war going on within the Rockets community about Fred VanVleet needing to come off ball and Jalen Green needing to be the initiator. And I thought that was blasphemous because Jalen Green is not a good initiator. He's a shooting guard. Scoring-wise, he did everything that I wanted him to do tonight in terms of he did provide stop the bleeding scoring. He did provide big buckets or timely buckets when you needed it down the stretch, except for when you really needed it down the stretch. But my whole thing with Jalen is I just want the turnovers to go down, and I need you to be better down the stretch when it comes to initiating offense. If you don't have it, don't drive into a bunch of guys. Like, shoot the 3 or something. Like, I really don't know because he doesn't get calls when he drives. And his handle is not the tightest, so he's always getting picked off or stripped when he drives. And he's not the best mid-range shooter. So even when he shoots off the dribble, it's not really there like that. So I don't really know, but for the sake of the conversation, for the sake of the pod, I'll put him in the bad. But he did lead the team in scoring. I do want to give him his flowers for that. He did what he was supposed to do scoring-wise. The downright ugly. Cam Whitmore, 5 points, 2 of 6 from the field. He was 1 of 3 from 3. He didn't play terrible or downright ugly, but I do need somebody for this segment. Cam Whitmore, my thing with Cam, I want you to stay down on the pump fakes. When you watch the Houston Rockets, nobody falls for pump fakes. Cam Whitmore got caught 2 or 3 times today on pump fakes. And that's not just one time thing, a tonight thing. He gets caught like that often. Pay attention to the scouting report. Listen to your coaches in the film room. Listen to them in practices. Stay on your feet. We don't jump for pump fakes. That's all I got. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Like the video, comment below. Let me know what I missed. Let me know what I didn't miss. Let me know what you agree with. Let me know what you didn't agree with. RedNationBlogga, out.